All right, so we got episode 3 of the best worst sports show ever. If you're new to us, you haven't seen this show before, what's going on? Nice to meet you. If you've seen this show, how you been?
How you been?
Yeah. So football's gone, so we got kick it off with this week in the news. Barbara Streisand has cloned her dogs not once but twice. Like, rich lady can't just buy a new fucking dog.
I don't know. I can't imagine cloning my dogs. I'm trying to think of cloning my dogs. I wouldn't want to. It'd be weird, dude.
Yeah, you'd be looking at like the same dog that you've had for however many years, but
But
it's
a different dog.
yeah.
It's a different soul. You can't do that, man. It's weird, bro. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean once technology can figure out how to clone like the soul and the personality, I think I'd be on board with that.
What did I just watch? Oh, have you seen the show Black Mirror?
Yeah.
There's an episode where you can like download the personality and the soul onto like a piece of a device, and then you can just kind of like put it inside of another body.
Yeah, doesn't that end up spoiler alert, doesn't that end up like creeping out the lady and she like locks it in the attic and shit?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. But yeah, totally. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Personality and soul. I agree with you. It's weird, man. Barbara Streisand's weird, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it kind of makes sense that she might do something weird like that. I mean, it got her back in the news, so that's something.
Probably she went.
Speaking of getting back in the news, Geno Smith came out as a flat earther last week on a big Twitter rant. Started off with a tweet saying, "I've been studying this whole flat Earth versus globe thing, and I think I may be with Kyrie on this one. Before you judge, do some homework. But what do you guys think?"
Dude, I think they're just trying to get attention. Like, it's difficult for me to like believe that they really believe this. Are they fucking with us? Like, are they fucking with? They have to be fucking with us. They have to be. They have to be.
Yeah, the first time like Kyrie put something out, I was like, "There's no way that he actually believes this." Like, and then more and more people kept like randomly popping up, and I'm just like, "Well."
And Kyrie seems like a rational person. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I'm convinced people are screwing with us just for the sake of like jokes, but Geno Smith, I'm not so sure because he's kind of an idiot. So maybe I don't know.
Yeah, to me, flat earthers are kind of like the most intriguing people in the world, just because the everything that science has proven for the last, I don't know, ever, pretty much ever since they figured out that they looked at the map and they're like, wait a minute, the like nobody even questions it anymore. Like you can't find a person that studies science that even thinks to question that.
Well, I I don't know. I just struggle. Like, I don't know. Dude, screw Geno Smith.
Yeah. The best was it towards like the later he was getting a lot of flack and like going on about it, and then he posted a video of him like in a boat and he's just like sailing. He's just like, I'm gonna check this out myself, and then never talked about it again.
The flat Earth thing.
Yeah. He just like went on to some other dumb shit. I don't even remember what it was.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not convinced it's real. Like, I'm convinced they're just all messing with us because it's like I don't know, dude. It's the most ridiculous thing in the whole world. It just needs to go away. I'm sick of it.
Some of the that's those are like my favorite memes on the internet nowadays. Is just like any flat Earth like
I haven't
if
seen this.
it'll have like a car, like just a regular car, and then it'll be like if the Earth was really round, it'd look like this, and then it'd just be like bent in half. Or they did the same thing with shoes and have like the shoes be like this.
If the shoe was round,
Yeah.
I'll look those up.
Yeah.
I'll,
Just like dumb shit like that that I see on Instagram, that just like that's what makes me buy into it.
there's literally an Instagram account called Flat Earth Memes.
Yeah. I think I follow it.
If Flat Earth wore pants, would it wear them like this or like this?
Those are the hard-hitting questions that only people that like Geno Smith and Kyrie Irving are asking.
Yeah, I hear that. It's like this Tide Pod, the Tide Pod thing.
Yeah, well, at least people aren't eating Tide Pods anymore.
No,
We're not having to hear about that.
thank God.
So that's a plus. We're getting a little bit smarter and graduating to flat Earth.
Dude, oh, okay, this is like hurting my eyes.
There was one that he was talking about how nobody could go to the North Pole or the South Pole, and then people would post pictures like of them standing at the poles, and he was like, "Well, that's just because you hadn't gotten to the restricted area yet." Because they
Who's that?
believe that there's a wall, an ice wall around the world that NASA patrols with guns, so you don't fall off.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's how crazy these flat Earth people are.
Dude, Siri keeps like trying to talk to me. I'm gonna turn her. Go away, Siri.
All right, next we got the NCAA is planning on changing their rules for the NIT tournament. They're looking to move the three-point line back to the international, so they're going to back it up 1'8". They're going to expand the free throw line so the lane's a little bit bigger to match the NBA. They're going to get rid of the halves and turn it into 10-minute quarters. And then they're going to put a shot clock on when there's an offensive rebound. They're going to move it to 20 seconds instead of 30.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Trying to make the game
this,
interesting.
yeah, it's something that would make me watch the NIT.
They're trying to speed it all up, and I get that because NIT is trash.
Yeah.
There's really no incentive to watch it at this point in time. Yeah, the NCAA is like, it goes on. Wait, does it go on before or after the tournament? The main one.
I think it's like, I think they start it close to the end of the tournament.
I think you're right. And so, but no one watches it. There's no reason to watch it. Like, why would I watch that?
Yeah, even the years that ASU or Nebraska have been in it, I just, like, I don't fucking care. Like, there's no reason to watch it.
You're talking about teams that couldn't make the 66 team field, or the 60 or 68, excuse me, 68 team field. And so, why would I want to watch the team battle for 69th place in the country?
Yeah, I mean, you have teams like, what is it, Wichita State that won it like 5 or 6 years in a row, and then they went to the NCAA tournament and started actually doing pretty good. But I don't give a fuck about them until they get to the actual tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If they speed it up, make it more interesting. That could help, but it's still going to be a tough thing to sell. It's just not that interesting, honestly. But
Yeah, I mean, with some of these rule changes, I might check it out, maybe watch a game or two. I'd love that they're moving to the quarter system, though, like every other basketball ever played. Like, isn't women's college basketball even quarters?
I'm pretty sure they changed it this either last year or this year.
Yeah, like, what the fuck is the NCAA doing? Why would they not just change?
They probably will eventually. I bet they will eventually. Yeah. They'll probably get an ESPN like controversy in the next couple of weeks about how two halves are causing cancer or something. So
four quarters are racist.
exactly. So keep an eye out for that one.
Speaking of rule changes, the NFL is having the combine, and then they're working on some possible rule changes in this next couple weeks. Some of the big ones, they're looking at pass interference. They're making it a 15-yard penalty rather than kind of like in college versus a spot foul. They're looking at targeting to match the college style, so ejections, bullshit like that. They want a bigger emphasis on the refs calling illegal touching to kind of build up the scoring a little bit. I guess there was a down year for scoring, so they want to help the offense out a little bit. And then they want to allow assistant coaches to accept jobs with other teams before their season's over to kind of avoid the McDaniels situation.
Good times. I agree with the 15-yard penalty for pass interference. No one likes seeing, 12 seconds left in a half or something like that, and the guy chucks a 40-yard pass, and then they get it. I don't know. they get a touchdown or a field goal with 3 seconds left because of some 50-yard interference penalty. But even then, it's just I don't know. I agree with the 15-yard interference penalty. I think that's better.
I did like it, like at first when I heard about it, but then I started thinking about it. Like the NFL players are so smart these days, like especially teams like Seattle or Minnesota or someone like that with good secondary. They're gonna know that situational awareness and be like, oh, I'm not gonna give up this long touchdown that I'm beat. I'm just gonna pass interference 15 yards.
That's a super good point too. That's a super good point. You
Makes
makes you
sense.
wonder maybe bring another rule where if you could kind of like in the NBA where if you do an intentional foul from behind while the player's on a fast break, it's automatic. What do they do? They give them the foul shots and the ball, right?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if the NFL would implement something like that, something similar to discourage teams from intentionally like causing pass interference. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Or like,
Yeah, I feel like they'd kind of have to do something like that if they're gonna
like,
change it.
yeah, if you're gonna like intentionally cause pass interference, you get I don't know, maybe you I don't know, they'll think of something, but whatever. Maybe you get a warning or you get like I
I
don't
feel
know.
like that would have to be kind of the spot
Yeah,
foul like they have it now, and then regular 15-yard penalty for anything else.
I get you. So if you intentionally do it, then you spot foul it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good
Like if
idea.
you're just getting beat downfield and like it's going to be a touchdown anyways.
Then you spot foul it.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that idea. And then otherwise, 15 yards. I agree with that. But you're right. That's good. That's a super good point. They're gonna kind of like intentionally do it. I mean, that's what I would do if I was gonna get beat. I'd be like, oh, I'll just drag your ass down.
Yeah, I do that every time. 15 yards is way better than giving up a touchdown.
Exactly.
I hate the college targeting though. Anytime
Oh,
you're ejecting players for shit like that, it's
it's insane. It's insane. It's so absurd too because there still hasn't. I mean, how long has targeting been going on? 5 years probably ish.
yeah, somewhere around like 4 or 5.
There's still no clearly defined idea of what target really is because you see guys get ejected all the time who had a clean hit, but it was just a really hard hit, and so you get guys who are hitting hard. And keep in mind, these are 220-pound guys running full speed. So what the hell do you expect? What's going to happen? There's going to be collisions, and so you get these guys who do everything right. Most guys nowadays hit legal. Very rarely do you actually see illegal hits. Very rarely, because everyone is so aware of all the suspensions and injections that exist now, and how anal the rules are now. So everyone's super aware of that. So most of the time, players hit correctly. It's just you get like a 240-pound linebacker going full speed at a whatever 105-pound receiver who's not moving as quickly. There's going to be a vicious like collision, and so because it's a hard hitting collision, and you have what appears to be a really nasty hit, and it was a nasty hit, they eject it even though it was a legal hit.
Yeah.
He lowers his shoulder, doesn't hit with the head, but because it happened so damn fast, and the guy and the receiver gets absolutely destroyed, they can't. They automatically assume that it was targeting. It's like no, you can't do that. It just I don't like it, man. And half the time they get it wrong. They'll go, and that's why they do the replay. They'll go show the replay and make sure that they actually was.
Yeah, I mean, I hate anytime it's a judgment call on
Yeah.
that the referee has to make whether they get to stay in the game or not.
Then they fuck it up, and they still fuck it up. They'll watch the replay, and it'll be like a clear-cut case. And the broadcasters will be like, "Oh yeah, he'll stay in the game. He lowered his shoulder. It was clean." And then the referee will come out. Well, he's staying. He's getting ejected. It's like what? And so I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that at all. I'm not a fan of enforcing illegal touching. They just want points, and it's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, that's what puts asses in seats, but at the same time, it's getting harder and harder and harder to be a defensive back every single year.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's insane. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm cool with the pass interference idea. I don't like the targeting. I don't like the illegal touching. I mean, every year they kind of like tighten up the rules against defense.
Yeah. I mean, as for assistant coaches getting another job before the season's over, I don't really care about it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't really care either.
I mean, they should be, as a team, be like, maybe just wait, hold off, and make your decision focus on this and maybe interview afterwards or something like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, who cares? Like, give me the option.
I agree. Like, I don't. That's not. It's whatever to me. But but the other things are big. It'll be interesting to see how that takes effect. It'll probably be implemented for this year because they've gotten really good at kind of like making things quickly.
Yeah, so I wonder if they're actually going to implement any of these or what they decide to do. So we'll have to keep up on that.
Sure. I hear that.
All right, so switching gears a little bit, a FedEx truck somehow lost a box of ACT scores. So these kids go in on a Saturday morning, hammer out their ACT, thinking they're okay, and they get an email a few days later saying FedEx lost their scores, lost all their tests, and they issued them a $50 refund, and they're like, well, I guess you can take it again.
Whoever lost the ACT score should have to retake the test, all the kids.
I mean, do they really want that guy that needs to lose a box?
Then again, that probably be a bad example. They would probably none of them get to school.
Yeah.
But that sucks. I remember taking the ACT. I took that thing twice, so I know how painful that thing is. I was hungover both times, too. Pretty sure I skipped the entire math section the second time I took the ACT because I was still hungover.
I never actually took it. I've never taken like an actual standardized test.
Nice. They're awful. They're terrible.
Yeah, I never took the ACT, never took the SAT, and I went to community college.
Yeah, terrible things. But how do they're awful.
I mean, once you go to community college and do your time there, you just get to go to a university and not have to worry about it. So
that's a good point. Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, so I saved myself a Saturday morning not having to. So next we got a little bit of shocked or not. So there's a company out of Brooklyn called Light, and their main thing is that they sell what's called a dumb phone. So they're on their version 2 right now. Their first version could only make phone calls, and they decided to ramp it up a little bit and give the people texting. Apparently a lot of people will go nuts for this, something they really want. Get free of their smartphones.
I can see that. I mean, yeah, it gets people. It probably sells more to the older generation, be my guess, who aren't into the smartphone things. I see so many guys who still have flip phones sometimes, but actually, this guy came into the bar last night with an iPhone 3. It was awesome. It was gnarly. I was obsessed with it. I was like, this is so. I was playing with it. It was so cool. It was literally half the size of an iPhone 7. Like, you don't realize how far the iPhone has come until you're holding an iPhone 3 in your hand, and you're like, I don't know, it's crazy. But yeah, I agree. I think it's cool. I like the idea. It's probably smart. Phones are awesome. They do a lot for us, but they also keep our minds so they keep us so. I don't know. Yeah. But with that said, I'm not going to get mine up. I have way too much in my phone.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea if you have, like, I don't know, kids that are in middle school, elementary school, whatever, or, like, old people that can't understand how to use a phone. But there's no way that I'm going to give up the convenience of being able to look at anything I want or that constant contact or everything I need at the fingertips. I mean, I could be late to work or something and forget my phone. I'll turn around and go get it. That's like.
Oh, for sure. No, totally. Like, there's been times where I've been, like, driving. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get to work 1 minute before I have to clock in. And I'm like, wait, I don't have my phone. And it's like 5 minutes back. I'm like, well, I'll get it. I mean, you're already late. You can't be late again. So.
Yeah, exactly. I might as well be late with my phone.
Exactly. I hear that. That's funny.
All right. So then, shocked or not, the Vikings want to take a serious look at the quarterbacks they have. Rick Spielman came out last week and said that odds are they're going to make some moves, try to get maybe Kirk Cousins. And now they're saying, well, maybe we see what we got. And
sounds like they can't make the moves. They sound like they want to make the moves, but it's probably a money issue. Who knows, really, honestly. But he's just trying to lessen the blow. Hey, listen, we have some great options at QB. That's where it's going. That's where this conversation's going. we're gonna see what we can do at QB and do our best there. And yeah, have fun with that, man. I'm sorry, dude. That sucks for you.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, we got three guys that were good at one point, but Case Keenum's not the answer. He's going to suck this year. Sam Bradford can't stay healthy ever. And then Teddy Bridgewater's a huge question mark.
Yeah, for sure. And it sucks because the Vikings have a good defense. They have some young talent on offense. Yeah, that's shitty. That sucks.
I mean, I think bringing in a guy like Kirk Cousins and getting him in the system as quick as possible would be our best chance at doing anything.
So you need a quarterback who's swinging around. He's not like, I mean, he's had some good years lately. You got to give it to him. He had a rough start when he came up, but like the last couple of years have been good for Kirk Cousins. So I think he'd be a good fit.
Yeah, he plays a lot like that Sam Bradford style, but he can stay healthy.
Like he stays healthy. I like Kirk Cousins a lot. So hopefully we get to a team that will take advantage of that because he's still just sitting out there. Like
yeah.
Wait, is free agency? When is free agency open up? Has it?
It's sometime this month.
Yeah, I think it's March. You're right. The NFL has a weird thing with that. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a weird day that they can do it. So a bunch of teams have started cutting players and things like that, making space, but I don't think they can actually sign anybody for. It's got to be coming up like this week or next week.
Gotta be. Who won MVP
last year?
This past season.
Wasn't it Carson Wentz?
Yeah. Wait, how did we not figure that out?
I think that's who it was.
Okay, it was Brady. How was that not a story? How am I just not reading about this?
I remember there was a lot of like talk about who was going to get it, and then I just never heard who did.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was like
it's just like I guess since Brady won it, they're just like whatever. Yeah, all the haters in the media.
We're not going to talk about it. Well, the Pats in the Super Bowl, they just like don't talk about it. They just pretend it didn't happen. They just like move on. So in other news, spring training started in baseball. They just skipped it. Yeah, that's funny. Brady's the man.
Yeah. How many more years do you think he's got?
Based off this year, I'd say he's got at least 2 to 3. I mean, the dude's like, he played so well this year. He's got at least 2 seasons left.
Yeah, I could see that.
At least 2 seasons left, man. He didn't drop off. I mean, the only thing and this happened like 3 years ago, his deep ball, but he doesn't have as much like zip on his. He can still swing the ball pretty damn hard, but he's definitely lost a little bit of his zip. He can't go nearly as deep as he once could, but that's whatever. He makes it work.
Yeah. I mean, that happens to everybody. Look at Brett Favre, Peyton Manning.
so he'll be fine. I think he's got at least 2 seasons left. I mean, the dude's a stud.
Yeah, I could see that.
I love it.
Do you see him hanging out as long as Belichick does, or vice versa?
I think they lose together.
Yeah, that's kind of the only way that it could really happen.
Belichick's not going to leave before Brady does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, Belichick's in a different position. He could stay as long as he wants, as long as Brady was able to play. If Brady played to 50, Belichick would probably stay. But
yeah, probably.
So Belichick's timeline isn't nearly as kind of like crucial as Brady's. But I mean, yeah, Belichick. I don't know. He doesn't want to start over, man. He's accomplished too much, and he's only in his mid-60s, so it's not like he's old, but like he's accomplished way too much at this point of his career to like start over with a new quarterback, a new system, and all that shit. So it's like when Brady retires, Belichick retires.
I could see him doing some sort of like front office thing for the Patriots.
You're right. I can see that.
Sticking with the Patriots, we got Robert Kraft. The owner claims to not be the father of his 38-year-old girlfriend's 1-year-old son. So they've been dating for about 5 years now, and I guess it just came out that the kid's not his.
Yeah, so I kind of read a little bit about that, but sounds like she's been on again, off again. But like, so I guess there's that. So it makes a little more sense. But I mean, if I was dating someone for 5 years and they have a 1-year-old kid and it's not mine, I'm like, well, that's it's been real. See ya.
He's just like a super good sport about it. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna raise this kid and like pay for it, treat it like it's my own.
I guess he's like 80, so he doesn't. He's probably like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he has more money than any of them could spend in their entire lifetime. So,
Like he doesn't care. He's just like whatever. He has other priorities right now. Like, he doesn't care about some chick and his kid.
all right, and then the World Cup in Russia this year has a. I guess there's a loophole that is allowing them people to bring in weed, cocaine, and heroin as long as they have a proper medical paperwork.
Okay. Well, what is proper medical paperwork mean? Does that mean? I mean, first off, how do you get cocaine? That's the real question here. I didn't realize cocaine was able to be purchased with a proper medical paperwork. I didn't even know that's a thing. Or heroin.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you either need a time machine or it's got to be some sort of international thing where you can go to like, I don't know, Russia or Amsterdam or somewhere like that and be like, talk to your doctor about how you need cocaine or heroin.
I can see in Amsterdam. Well, what is Russia's stance on drugs? I would imagine it's pretty tight based off of what we know about Russia, but maybe Russia has a very lax drug policy. I don't know.
I always assumed that they would be real sticklers about stuff like that. That's why I was surprised to see this.
Let's see. I'm looking. I'm googling it right now.
Yeah, from
Drug.
what I understand, I'm pretty sure at World Cup and like any FIFA event or like with the World Cup, you can't sell alcohol. Like,
Well, yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a college thing where, like, if it's a FIFA event, it's like under their jurisdiction or whatever, and you can't overrule that. Yeah.
yeah, but I'd be very surprised. I mean, that'd be such a weird thing that like you walk in, you're like, oh yeah, here's my paperwork. You know, I'm gonna go to my seat and shoot some heroin.
You just like have a kilo of cocaine in your arm.
Yeah, just walk in like this. Like, all right.
Here to party. Oh, here I got my doctor's note right here. It's all good.
Yeah.
So
With how many people are going in and out of that stadium, how well do you think they're even going to look at that paperwork? So,
exactly. So in Russia, if you have drugs, it's a $50 to $130 fine for most drugs.
wow.
Just seems pretty lax.
Yeah, I figured that was one of those countries that like cut off your hand or something if you
Yeah.
have drugs or like put you in jail forever.
Disappear in Russia.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that guy? He smoked weed and never saw him again.
Yeah. I saw him with one joint one time getting a ticket. Now he's just gone.
He's gone. Never saw him again. All right.
All right, so then moving on to apparently the Bachelor has one of the most intense vetting processes I've seen in a long time. So I've never really watched the show at all, but it was released that they do basically you get a questionnaire, you do an interview, they fly you in, you do like a series of personality tests and interviews, drug screening, substance abuse tests, things like that. And then they bring you in for a medical exam where like the last step is you do an STD test. So it turns out the thing that's keeping the majority of the contestants from competing is herpes. And a lot of them find out for the first time, like during that they have it.
That's crazy, dude. That sucks, but not surprising. I mean, I don't know. That's funny.
Yeah, could you imagine like being some chick that's so excited to be on The Bachelor and they're hammering through all these tests and then they get to the last one and they find out they have herpes? It's like,
Sweet.
oh shit.
No one does drug tests anymore. That's probably why. They're like, what? Whatever. Plus, our generation doesn't produce protection, so that doesn't help either.
Yeah.
We just kind of go at it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure like isn't there like it's like an outrageous amount of people have herpes just because it's so many different like forms of it.
And there's less like severe like types and more severe types and blah 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 blah. I know that like 50% of adults above the age of 25 have HPV.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and so but HPV is basically harmless. It's more or less just like but like literally 50% of people like above 25 have it. Um, yeah. So it's whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
All right, next we got some student from West Virginia. He was out drinking one night, so he orders an Uber and he puts it in to take him home. Ends up messing up and puts his home address in New Jersey and wakes up. Uh, so he passes out in the Uber, wakes up in front of his house in New Jersey with a $1,600 bill, and he's needs to figure out a way to get home.
That poor kid. Hope his parents are rich.
Yeah, you can only hope. Or at least have the next day off to drive his ass back to college.
Kidding. That sucks, man. I guess you could rent a car for like what? Like, what do cars rent cost? Like $7 a day or something. So I guess you could always do that.
That's true.
But yeah, that's shitty.
I couldn't imagine what I would do.
I always wanted to like Uber from like Los Angeles to New York City or something to see what happens.
Yeah, I've seen like things on the internet where like pro athletes will like do shit like that just because they can.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I've seen people do that from LA to Vegas all the time.
how
That's
expensive is that?
that's a pretty common thing, like $600.
I mean, at that point, why wouldn't you just fly?
Exactly, I would agree with you. But it's a very common thing. I've talked to a handful of Uber drivers here in LA that have done it, and they always tell me almost the exact same story. It'll be a guy because once you want whatever state you're registered to Uber in or Lyft, you cannot Uber outside of that state. So what they do is but they can go out of the state on one way trip, but you can't like so like once they get to Vegas, you couldn't like re-Uber and Uber back to LA. You know what I mean? What they do in order to make up for it, because that's shitty, right? It's 4.5 hours from LA to Vegas, and so I mean, yeah, you're gonna get $600, but then you drive back without any fares. So what they do is it's super common is someone will pay the guy for an Uber from LA to Vegas for 4.5 hours, $600 right there. And then the guy will be, listen, I'll put you up in a room for the night. I'll give you like $1,000 in spending money, and then you just drive you back tomorrow. Not on Uber, but just like you just drive you back with you.
Damn.
And so yeah, this happens all the time here apparently. And the guy I told yeah, I just keep $1,000. I don't go spend it. I just pocket it, drive the guy back the next morning.
Is that just a regular Uber, or are they like, is that Uber Black, or are they rich people, or what?
I just got in the Toyota Camry going to Vegas.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
No sense.
I mean, I guess maybe they're like trafficking something.
That's a possibility. Maybe they just want to really avoid the plane too, because airports do suck. But like, yeah. I mean, honestly, 4.5 hours. It's probably about the same amount of time you would take to do an airplane.
Yeah, you got to get there about 2 hours early.
Yeah, you're gonna spend more. You're gonna spend more money, but probably more convenience. So maybe that's what they're going. They probably have the money, so they're like, fuck it, and they just spend the extra money to Uber there. And like you said, you're gonna have to get to LAX 2 hours early. Then you're gonna have to sit in LAX for an hour, wait for your bullshit plane. Then you got an hour flight to Vegas. And so by the time you get to Vegas and off your plane into your hotel, it's 4.5, 5 hours anyway. So maybe that's how they look at it.
That's true.
Less hassle.
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool, I guess.
All right, so next we'll move into our newest segment called the Big Three. So basically, we pick a topic every week and decide what our big three are. This week we're going to go with Big Three pump-up songs.
Honestly, man, my go-to, I love me some AC/DC.
Ooh, any particular one?
I mean, Thunderstruck is pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to beat.
Thunderstruck's good. Anytime that comes on, I'm just like, I don't know, it's just a good song, dude. Gets in a good mood, gets the blood flowing. Makes you want to drink and like, I'm ready to drink, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty much just drink. That's pretty much
my number one is the Star Spangled Banner
by
Francis Scott Keys. There's no song in the entire world that gets me more pumped than that. Like if I'm going to the gym, half the time I'll throw it on in the car.
Okay. Just blast it on your radio, man.
I get the goosebumps, kind of like I'm standing at a sporting event.
I hope I pull up next to you someday. Like you're just like windows down and you're blasting stars.
I've never gotten more weird looks than pulling up at the gym at like 3, 4 in the afternoon, just windows down, just blasting it like in the middle of summer.
Sounds awesome. I hope I experience that someday. What's another good one? We Are the Champions. Good.
Ooh, that is good.
Queen.
Yeah.
That's a classic. I'm big on classics.
Yeah. I like the Final Countdown by Europe.
Okay. I like where your head's at. Yeah, it's a good song. Do you watch it? Do you watch Arrested Development?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, he uses that like Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
That song is like lead up song to his shows.
Yeah, he's like throwing the cards out.
That's good stuff. Yeah, AC/DC for me. What was the second one I said? Thunderstruck. I had a third one. I said Thunderstruck, Queen.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm spacing on my third one. What's your third one?
DMX, Where the Hood At?
DMX, there you go. Okay.
Anything where I could go with any of his songs, but that's probably my favorite one.
Well, yeah, all his songs make you want to drink and fight, basically.
He just yells and gets you amped up.
I definitely cannot fight, but like if I listened to DMX and I was drunk, I could probably fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would just like come to me and go, all right, let's do this. All right, DMX, I like that. That's good. What's that other DMX song? DMX.
Party Up.
That's a good song, but that's not what I'm thinking of. The one where he's like talking about taking on someone's whole crew.
Is that the Rough Riders anthem?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Eminem has some good pump-up songs.
Ooh, yeah. Old Eminem.
Yeah, old Eminem. Brown got weird. He got real weird towards the end of his career.
Yeah, once he left his hair black, that's like and quit bleaching it. That's when he started getting weird.
Real weird, man. He still has some good stuff every now and then, but yeah, he did his stuff got weird. But yeah, Eminem. I would say Eminem is a good artist that has some pump-up stuff.
Yeah.
Good music for
All right, so that's our big three this week. Next week we'll have a different topic and we'll do some different stuff. Random thoughts this week. So Black Panther came out, huge movie. I think it's like the biggest opening ever. And they pushed the Avengers up, so it got me thinking about superpowers. A lot of people, like, when they think about superpowers, they think about all the good that they would do. But then I got to thinking, I'd have a really hard time doing good stuff if I were to come across superpowers. I mean, there's just no money in being good. No. Look at Superman. He still has to work a day job. Bruce Wayne's just luckily has, like, inheritance. like
$1,000,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. If I could have any superpower, it'd be to fly. That's all I want to do is fly. I'm pretty simple. I just want to fly.
Yeah.
Like, I get to be able to, like, stand here, like, just stand here on my balcony and be like, all right, Arlo, I'll be there. And I just, like, jump off my balcony and just fly.
I would only want to fly if nobody else had the power, because...
I agree. I agree with that.
Because then I'd have, like, traffic jams in the sky. I don't want to deal with that. I might as well just drive.
Well, I'll drive. Yeah. But, like, no, I agree with you. I just want to fly. Like, I literally have dreams, like, once a week about flying. It's a good dream of mine since I was a kid. It's been going for, like, 25 years. I've been dreaming of flying. So this is a very...
Yeah, that's always been my number one. Other than that, it'd be, like, I don't know, like, ridiculously super strength. Like,
that'd be cool.
Like, where you could just, like, punch holes in buildings and pick up cars and shit.
I'm down with that. Like Hulk strength.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, at that point, you'd have to be a villain, because even if they catch you, what are they going to do? Put me in jail? I'll just break out.
I don't think so.
You can try.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Flying strength. Yeah, I don't really care about other stuff like speed or being invisible.
Yeah, I don't really need to be fast or invisible.
I agree. I'm with you.
All right, so hot takes a week. Sean Miller's been under a lot of heat as the U of A head coach. ESPN reported on them being wiretapped by the FBI, paying two of their players or two of their new recruits $100,000 each. Since then, 24/7 Sports and a couple other places have kind of looked at their timeline and been like, ESPN, that doesn't add up. Sean Miller was suspended, and then he came back to coaching yesterday, I think, was his first day back. But they're planning on fighting it the whole way, probably going to sue ESPN for all their bullshit. I mean, at the end of the day, if this was any other team, I wouldn't give a fuck. But since it's U of A, I hope they just get killed, and I hope it's true.
I mean, I get what you're saying. It's just more of the same. Like, I don't know why people are so surprised that this stuff kind of goes on, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't get caught up in this stuff very much. I can care less about like all this. It's just, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that every other team is most likely doing it, and so I'd be more surprised to find out 100% certainty that a team wasn't doing this.
Oh, exactly. I'm just done. Like that. Remember that? Like last week, no one's even talking about that now. All of a sudden, was last week. ESPN released that report about all those schools that are supposedly doing illegal activities to giving out players.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone was mentioned. Everyone you can think of was mentioned. Michigan State, all the big heavy names. You know, Duke, Kentucky, Michigan State, North Carolina, Georgetown, every big team, and no one gave a shit. It was like, yeah, whatever. And that just died like that. Just died. Because no one cared.
Yeah, well, almost nobody. This kind of sparked a lot of controversy, and LeBron came out and said that the NCAA is so corrupt and it's something that can never be fixed.
I mean, I wouldn't say it can never be fixed. It'd be really hard to fix it at this point, but for the most part, it's very corrupt. I agree with that. But that's America in general. Everything's corrupt in this country, so I just don't care.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, coming from a guy that's never played in the NCAA, but I guarantee he was getting I guarantee $100,000 offer was like the low end for LeBron when he was graduating.
I can only imagine if he went to Duke. Could you imagine if he just played 1 year at Duke? Like,
yeah, they would have been national champs. Like,
I wish he would have gone to school for 1 year just to see what he could do against those kids.
I wish he would have went to like Akron or like some small college around there, just because.
Just dominate, like just go, like yeah, that would have been awesome.
He could have turned a program like that completely around.
That would have been so cool. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
He went the route of more money, so.
I understand. you put a briefcase of $20 million in front of me, yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely. Go. I don't have to go to college. Cool. Yeah, done.
Yo. Yo. That's awesome.
All right. Any parting words of wisdom for this week?
Stack that money, dude.
Got to.
Stack. Baby. That's all you can ever do. Stack it, stack it, stack it.
No banks, all cash.
Cash money.